What's up, YouTube? So I was asked a question yesterday before my last live stream, the most previous one. I was asked the question: How many people in the population know you're on a surveillance list? And once again, I do read from the posts that I make. Like I type out posts and I read them because like kind of mess with your mind, like doing this stuff live and stuff. So I post it out sometime and then I just freestyle afterwards. So the question was asked: How many people in the population know you're on a surveillance list? Okay, so there's been many references to an app called the Citizen app. I'm not saying that's the app that people are using to do this type of stuff, but this app has been mentioned through targeted content creators. Now, keep in mind, I'm reading from my post. This app is being used is was spoke on through targeted content creators, and also violent musicians have spoken on this in their songs. Um, Also, some things on the web posted on Google are from targets themselves, right? So I was watching a video today of someone reading something, and you have to understand those websites are from targets themselves, especially if they're speaking. Especially if those articles, are speaking on the psychological harm that gang stalking does. That's not government officials posting that. That there's actual programs, and I'll go through that on another video. But there's actual programs. Some other people have posted it, but that's another video. But those are actual targets posting that from websites, right? But um, yeah. So how many people in the population know you're on the surveillance list? It can vary. I don't think it's a lot. But when you get into things like directed conversations, I'm going to explain to you how a directed conversation can be started by one perp to look like it's many. Indirected conversation, whatever you want to call it, directed conversation, indirect conversation, right? It can be used by one actual real perp. Like they can go up to somebody before you walk into a store or something like that. They can go up to someone when you walk into a store. Excuse me, I'll be drinking heartburn, right? But they can go up to someone before you walk into a store and they'll start a conversation that you have to hear. And now you think it's only one purpose inside that store, inside that restaurant, and now you think everyone's involved because they're talking about this stuff. So it's, to me, it's like it's one person at every job that you go to. Currently, I can't even get hired at fast food for some reason. Currently, but that's another story. But another story, like as far as like what, like, why would they even do that? That's so disgusting. Financial deprivation is disgusting, right? That's not okay. That's not legal. You can't do that. But yeah, you can walk inside a store and a person can start a directed conversation before you walk in. Like I think they're everywhere. Like they're every job. They're everywhere, especially places to where, say, you stay inside a shelter. I'm currently in a shelter. That's beneficial for financial. That's a financial benefit of being able to stay in a shelter. So I'm currently in a shelter. I'm pretty sure even if these people was working here before, like they're all like working for, you know, the system, like, and possibly informers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like because it's so beneficial. Like you don't pay too much rent and stuff like that. At least I have my own room, so I pay about 140 a month. But Yeah, I think they're everywhere, and there was a reference. It's many references to this type of stuff, like Citizen app. Uh, people have spoken on this in songs. Violent artists have spoken on that in a song, like a Citizen app. You know, but yeah, I think they're in every establishment. They're in every store. They're everywhere. Like they have to be. I feel like they have to be. They have to have at least one person that's working for the program inside of every restaurant there is. They have to. So they have to. So it's like I think it's protocol. Like they just want to keep people that's trying to do good. They want to keep you down. They trying to keep you down. Like it's sad. Like it's really sad. But it's obvious, and they just have to. They have to. They have to do this type of stuff. But it's like they're at every restaurant. They're anywhere you try to work at. They're everywhere. It's like they. It's notification game. It's notification click. That's what it is. That's what I call it. Notification game. It's nothing else. Another thing I was gonna say in this live, because I don't get into directed energy weapons and V2K and stuff like that. Um, you know, the thought of surveillance can mimic a V2K weapon. It can cause you sweating in your house when somebody looking at you. Like when somebody looking at it can mimic that. When somebody's looking at you, it can mimic it. Like it can mimic you feel as if someone's watching you. It can mimic a directed energy weapon. It can mimic V2K. Sweating in your house. You overheated and stuff like that. Let me go back to my post so I can look at what I was finna get into. It says Shark Target says it's a psyop. Yeah, yeah, it's a psyop. It's a psyop. It is, but this is what I was gonna say. Imagine you're a citizen. Like if someone was talking about that, a citizen can get a directed energy weapon. So put yourself in a citizen's shoes. Someone approaches you and asks you, someone you're approached. Imagine you're a citizen and you're approached with a directed energy weapon or some other tech device to use on your neighbor. Not possible, right? They could also be radiating themselves when they do that. So what you have to understand, if that's going on with you, if you're receiving V2K, if you're receiving directed energy weapons, you have to understand when that's going on with you, when that stuff is going on with you, like it can only be, not many retired law enforcement that we have inside the community. How many retired people from three-letter agencies do we have inside the community? Why would you think your neighbor is using a directed energy weapon on you? And the person was just reading from something. It's nothing. I was just, friendly correction. Friendly correction. It's just not. You just have to think with logistics. You have to put everything with logistics. Like imagine you're a citizen yourself. Imagine you're a citizen yourself, and you get approached by someone saying, "Hey, here's this directed energy weapon. Use this on your neighbor." They could be radiating themselves doing that as well. So it's a bunch of retired law enforcement within every community. A bunch of them. They could be doing a lot of this stuff. They could be handlers. You know, like in my old neighborhood where I used to stay at, community watch groups. Yep. In my old neighborhood where I used to stay at, it was sheriff owned house. Like the house that my neighbors stay in, it was a sheriff owned house. It was a sheriff owned house. So you have to understand this type of stuff. This is what you have to understand. But I call it notification game. Notification game. At the most, notification game. citizens that seem involved with this stuff, notification gang at the most. So that's why it's because the thing was it was difficult for me in my house. It was difficult in any environment that I was in. It was difficult. Like I would be moving around in my house. I wouldn't want to watch certain things. I remember covering my TV. They get notified what their role is, and yeah, I believe it is organized by local law enforcement. Yes, it is. It is. And shark targeted. Do you have videos posted on your YouTube? Because I need. I'm only saying that. I'm not calling you. I'm not thinking you a perp or anything. I'm only saying that because I need people to watch. Like I need content to watch myself. I post hour content. I like listening to people talk about it. So I post hour content. Like I post hours of content. A lot of evidence on your TikTok. Yes. Um, you don't got no videos on YouTube? You should post on YouTube. I don't even use that stuff. Like I don't use none of that. I don't use Instagram, TikTok. Only thing I use is YouTube. But those weapons are used by three-letter agencies. Law enforcement. People feeling like they're being V2K'd or anything like that. It's not your neighbor. Those weapons are definitely used by retired law enforcement. Stage car accidents. Yep, I've been through the same thing. I've been through the same thing. I was going down a hill in California. If I haven't said that on here, I was going down a hill inside of California. I was doing DoorDash out there. A lot of money to make out there doing DoorDash, but I was going down here in hill in California, and my brakes cut in the rental car that I had. The brakes cut. It went down the hill, like the car went down the hill. The car went down the hill, and it hit a site of people that was working on something. It was working on the highway or something. Hit their car. I jumped out like before it hit their car. Like it was like some movie stuff. I jumped out before it hit their car, and it blew up like 5 minutes later. It's 5 minutes later it blew up. But I don't like telling stories on here. But God is my witness. Lying is a mental illness. I would lie test everything that I say because it's like it's no reason. Lie tests are $400, but I find this stuff that fun that I would do lie tests. You know, but yeah, um, yeah, they're notification gang at most, but the amount of people is like it can people can. There's always a perp anywhere you go to, right? But pe- people can be made to think that targets can be made to think that more people are involved in their targeting through directed conversation. Like before you walk into a place, there's always a perk there. You know, it makes us feel less. My stuff makes us feel a little bit less special because it's logic. But I still give you the fact that hey, it's at least one or two perks in every establishment that you go in. Whether that's a restaurant, store, it's at least one or two perks at the least, and they can start a conversation, right? They can start a conversation with someone, and you walk in, and now like five people having a conversation about what's going on in your life by that one perp starting that conversation because they knew what you that you was walking in that place. But they're notification game. That's what I like to call it. But logistically, logically, not allegedly, if I spelled that correct, but Yeah, they be doing indirect conversations, tapping our mics from ABC. Yeah, yeah, they do. But it's not citizens. It's not the citizens doing that. And what I mean by that is you gotta start looking at the people that's on the street as handlers. Most people that's on the street handlers. So if they wanted to take us out, they would. That's why it's entrapment. Yeah. Yeah, they do try to take us out. They just try to take us out through means of psychological warfare. Like there was a time that I thought I was being watched through my dashboard, like the movie tells you. They would send certain cars around me, try to mess with my memory, play with my memory, stuff like that. But they try to take you out through psychological warfare. They know you can't be um, touched like by criminals or stuff like that. Like stuff like that. Targets move a certain type of way. Targets move a certain type of way. But you have to start looking at these people on the street, not even as, there's perps, but there's like handlers. Like, even if you feel like people on the street are perps, like, bro, you gotta like, they are perps, but you gotta like put them in one category, no matter what. Because you get to thinking too much. No matter what, they're all law enforcement. There's no reason not to have a shortness of breath in your house. I used to cover up my TV and just listen. Sometimes when I'm watching content, because that's all I watch. All I watch is targeted individual content, and see what is the problem. Like, I know I'm being targeted too, but it helps me. It helps me like see what is the problem. Why would somebody do this? That's why I be so logistical. Like, why would somebody do this? What is it making me do? And citizens, the thought of citizen surveillance was making me talk to myself, and I noticed that. So I'm like, would it even be possible for citizens to do that? But you go outside and hear direct conversation. Oh yeah, they notification game. They got a skit. They got a script. I believe the handlers are police wherever you move. Yeah, That's who that is. Three-letter agencies. Three-letter agencies. Police. All of that. That's what that is. It's nothing else. Even the citizen informers. That's what you gotta call them. Like, you gotta look at all of them the same way, because they're gonna continue to paint the narrative that they're watching you in your house and stuff like that. They're not. Who is watching you in your house is these retired law enforcement, these people that know that technology is not being used on them. People that's watching you in your house, people that know that technology is not being used on them because they know how to use that technology. You know, that's the people that's watching you in your house. That's the people that's watching you through your phone camera. And hackers can do that, but no hacker is just watching you do nothing. What we're being what we're being watched for is psychological stuff. Crime against humanity, civil rights violations. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. What we're being watched. That's how you know citizens aren't watching us. We're being watched for psychological stuff. We're being watched for psychological stuff. Like, we're being watched for psychological stuff, like normal stuff that we do. That's what we're getting watched for, psychological stuff. But I got a lot more content. But you gotta understand, like, the surveillance list. Not a lot of people know that you're on the surveillance list, and the ones that know that you're on a list, they're all connected. Like, they're like a lot of people said they hire people that's 6 years old. They started 8 years old. You feel what I'm saying? They'll start there. I don't like to use certain words. I don't want to mess with nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they'll start at 8 years old doing that. They'll start at 8 years old. So three-letter agency kids, the C, the end with the A kids or something like that. I think that's a thing too. Like the movie say, but you never know. Like it's that's scary stuff. I try not to even talk about and get into. So when people talk about that type of stuff on the movies, you already know what happens. Like it's crazy stuff. But yeah, you have to understand that um, the people that are involved with this stuff, they're all connected. Like they're all connected. It's your crimes against humanity and civil rights violation. That's all it is. It's sickening. It is, but this is just what we have to deal with. This stuff we have to deal with. But yeah, but I used to experience shortness of breath just sitting in my house alone because of the thought of surveillance that no longer happens anymore. Because I've categorized these people. Hey, anybody that's looking at me in my privacy is an extremely the police, and it's not likely that it's citizens logistically. Now, people that's I would think um, policemen know that we're on a surveillance list. I would think that um, like it's just a it's a surveillance list. I don't think that everyone in society knows, but yeah, everywhere you go, they will follow you. Everywhere you go, as soon as you walk out the house, it's always somebody that got to come in the store behind you. It's always that. They always got to walk in the store. It's always got to be overcrowded. Always got to be somebody in the store with you. Always, it has to be. And that stuff be crazy, but that's just what they do. And I realize that's what they do because the effects of it, what it did to me. That's what gave me logistics. Once I applied logistics to gang stalking, I applied logistics to every part of my life. And it's not even I'm not even intelligent. I can't even spell right. I can't even spell right. Like I can't even spell right. I'm not intelligent. Logistics are more important than intelligence. But says I'm going through it right now. They're trying to run me off my jobs with perks, directed conversation, and V2K. That's what they do. That is 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 what they do. I can't even get hired, but everywhere I get hired at, it's always something. I can't even get hired at fast food at the moment. I can't even get hired at fast food. But yeah, that's exactly what they do. It's always some new people that come in and start to do certain type of stuff, directed conversations, and it'll run you off the job. It doesn't run you off the job. It just makes you not want to be at the job anymore. And you either gonna try to find another job. That's why I stress, like, bro, if you don't have a felony, stay at that job as long as you can. Uh, get some of those delivery service apps. It's a bunch of delivery service apps nowadays. Get some of those delivery service apps to where you're not working with other people. Even though you're still gonna be targeted, on the road and stuff like that. Like that stuff is real. That stuff is real. They'll use three letters to send over, you know, communicate with you. They use a lot of nonverbal communication to tell you what they telling you, saying about you, and stuff like that. You know, like for real. This program supports the industrial complex. There's a price on our head worth a lot of money. It's human trafficking. Yeah, it's human trafficking. That's what it is. But they frame of mischief by the law, like the Bible says. They frame of mischief by the law. And I cannot speak much on the Bible on here, that loses viewers. So I'm not going to speak on that. That's true. I even get kind of like, that just shows your fear. You're godly. That shows your fear. But I kind of get like anxious and nervous when somebody talks about that type of stuff. But I speak up for myself. But yeah, they do it at the job. They do it at your job, and they trying to. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make you, leave that job. That's what they're trying to make you do. And what I did in my last job, like I left, like I left my job, like I was working dishwasher, and I left the job. And what it caused me to do, I went and got a rental truck, and I started doing deliveries. That made me spend money, and I actually should have stayed at the job instead of doing that. It made me lose. It made me lose everything. Not lose everything, but I would have been in a better position if I would have just stayed where I was at. But I went and paid for a rental truck, about $600, something like that. Paid for the rental truck, and ended up doing worse than what I could have been doing. Official says, "Oh yeah, I seen you comment. You seem legit. Found out I was being auctioned by some demented gang stalking occultists pretending to protect people while teaching and endangering the next gen of type of indoctrination." Yep, it's a lot of that stuff. What you have to understand about that stuff is that nothing is above what three-letter agencies, law enforcement. But they arrest the president. like they like so it's like nothing is above them. They're in control. They have their hand in everything there is. In everything there is. Nothing's above them. Nothing is above these three little organizations, aka law enforcement, whatever you want to call them. Nothing's above them. They got their hand in everything. In everything. So it's just you have to understand that type of stuff. Because that's who it is. Uh, God bless the targets that's coming on YouTube already knowing that stuff. God bless the targets that's coming on YouTube that's already knowing that stuff. Like you immediately knew it was law enforcement. I didn't think law enforcement would do this type of stuff, but you come to the logistic conclusion. Those are the only people that can be. It can't be anyone else. Plus, you'll see direct stalking from them too. And it starts with the sirens everywhere that you go. It started. So I don't know why I wasn't thinking that at first. But I suggest y'all look at Defeat Gang Stalking Manual. That's actually the first video I thought of. That's the first video I watched when I learned about gang stalking because I was getting sirens, I was getting all of that. But it's Defeat Gang Stalking Manual. I'm pretty sure all of y'all probably seen it though. It's called Defeat Gang Stalking Manual Official. But Shark Target says the gang stalking program gets funds every year. They utilize the fusion centers as well. Yes, yes, they do. They do. They utilize the fusion centers as well. Goes off 444 says you get one headlighters too. Yeah, but I don't let that bother me. Like the colors and stuff like that. It's like that's like I'm looking at every color right now. I'm looking at blue right now. I'm looking at red right now. So I never really let that bother me. That was never really a thing. But I said that once. I never said. I mean, I said man, the color harassment don't bother me. They came with the same color car through the drive-through when I was working in Akron, Ohio, at one restaurant. They came with the same color car. But I guess they thought that would bother me. But don't let that bother you. That's what it have you. Imagine you driving on the road trying to count the colors of the car. You driving on the highway. You get what I'm saying? Like it seemed like a death program. You know what I'm saying? Like you trying to drive down the highway. You trying to count the colors of cars. What I was looking at was tags. Now on my old channel, I took the video off my old channel. I put it on my new channel. They generate tags in Georgia. The tag says cry, CRY. Why the would you have a tag? Why would and it's generated? It's not a tag that's made like it's. I've seen it on multiple cars, but they have tags that say cry. They're running an extreme psychological warfare program, bro. Extreme. Yeah, you want to anchor it to a positive association. Yeah, but not even that. Like that type of stuff. It just doesn't bother me. But you got to know these three-letter agency citizens are all over the. They're citizens. They're everywhere, but they're not, and they're still not letting them involved with that surveillance part. They're not giving the access to remote neural monitoring to citizens. That would be a retired cop. That'll have you sweating, walking around your house thinking that uh, these girls and models looking at you in your house and stuff like that. Like, nah, that'll have you sweating. That's what they tell you in that movie is for a reason. Yeah, at this point, it don't mean anything. It doesn't. It doesn't. Like the colors and it doesn't. Like there's nothing to pay attention to. It's nothing to pay attention to. That's stuff that I noticed, but I always was like, okay, I never you never see you don't even when you look at the stuff that I have to say that I'm targeted on my shorts. You never see me talking about one headliners. I'm always talking about hacking. Um, like one time I was playing Call of Duty. I was playing Call of Duty one time. It was on my shorts. One person was on there saying they tag name was targeting you too. It said targeting you too. I'm like, dang. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even play the game nowadays. Like, they all in there. And I'm thinking that is like, I don't know if it's some type of, I would, I refuse to say artificial intelligence. Because I want some accountability put toward who's doing that. Uh, because I refuse to say artificial intelligence, but they can't, that is a part of it. But it's definitely citizens as well. It's definitely through the agencies as well. It's definitely stuff being done on purpose, like people doing it on purpose, and the directed conversations be on purpose. They don't want to do it to actual criminals because of fear of retaliation. Yeah, retaliation as far as like yeah, but I don't. The thing is, that's another live stream, bro. That's another live stream. That's another live stream. That is another live stream. I was just if you go look at my post, I was just talking about that. That's another live stream. It's a reason that they don't do that. I don't want to spoil that live stream, but it's a reason that they don't do that. It's more than that. They probably do try targeting them, but guess what? They, I'm gonna spoil it. You gonna make me spoil the live stream. You gonna make me spoil the live stream. You gonna make me spoil that live stream. That's for tomorrow. Say, yep, you can't even play video games. Yeah, you can. You can. I mean, they online and stuff like that. Like it's online, but I still play. I learned to ignore it. Like I learned to ignore it. Like I've learned to ignore all of it. All of it. I can pull up something right now. I can if I wasn't using my iPhone, I'll post it. Lying is a mental illness. God is not with me, but I'll post it. I'll be taking pictures of that stuff. I'll pull up something. But they probably the thing is, yeah, yeah. I get police harassment crazy too, but they involved with it, but they frame of mischief by the law, but they probably have something that's making that legal. But I agree with you, it's illegal. But people don't read stuff, so it's like, and I haven't read anything that said it is legal, but it's definitely illegal. Like they had me not trying to look at certain parts of the road while I was driving because of the psychological warfare. They went too far, you know. Man, these guys are paid actors. That's why half the time I be laughing at these people. Yes, that's why I say I don't care anymore. They're being compensated. I didn't peep that. Like I was thinking that they had a personal problem. It's compensation. I was thinking they had a personal problem, but it's compensation. They're being compensated in whatever type of way, whether that's being a free person or whether that's cash, gift cards, something. They're being compensated. They're not following you around because they have a personal problem. They're not following you around because they have a personal problem. That's not what they're not following you around. They don't have a personal problem with us. These are strangers trying to act as if they know people. It's been going on since 2018 with me. Strangers trying to act like they know people because the psychological effect of being known, but known as being shamed, shamed, shame known, like a terrible public figure. Like, and it's not even that. They can't do that to you. They can't do it to a citizen. They can't do it to a citizen. They can't do that to a citizen. You're unknown. We would have to be known for that. Known meaning being a public figure. That's what we would have to be. We would have to be known for that. They're paid actors. Paid actors. Yep. Like I said, it's a script. Like they have a script. They'll know you finna go to the store and just have a whole script. They have a whole script, like for real, like a whole script. I swear, like a whole script. Like it's crazy. It's really crazy. But yeah, like you know, my targeting was real serious. Like I used to really believe that people was regular citizens. I used to believe that regular citizens was involved in hacking and surveilling and stalking, and I thought that it was not everybody, but majority. I thought when I was talking to people, they can hear me when I was speaking to them. When I would go home in my privacy, I thought that they could hear me. They can't, and that would, that mindset would have me go outside mad sometimes. Like I know you heard what I just said about you in my house. How they hear that? So it's a it's a destruction course, a self destruction course. This program is a self destruction course. You have what's that guy's name? Uh, yeah, I can't really think of his name, but he was a targeted individual. He used to post on YouTube. He's actually incarcerated right now for doing something to his cousin he stayed with or something like that. Uh, he finished him. In other words, he finished him. Because I guess because of the targeting and stuff like that, they got an argument or whatever. But yeah, it's crazy. It started around the pandemic. I went outside during the lockdown. Afterwards, stuff went south. Yeah, yeah. That's how that stuff is. That's how that stuff is. Like, but mine was a little bit before the pandemic. But yeah, a lot of people say they were targeted like during the pandemic. Like that's when they targeting started. Like during the pandemic. But it was like, that stuff was just crazy to me. Like then, like I'm like, dang, like I just really didn't, you know, I ain't really care. Like I ain't care much. It just ramped up over the years. Like it ramped up. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like it ramped up over the years though. Like it ramped up. Like it just ramped up over the years. Like it went crazy over the years. Like it just got worse and worse. Like, it's got worse and worse over the years. You start to notice like stuff like that. But anything that's benefiting you within society, anything that's benefiting you within society, like how some people haven't even been to shelters. Anything that's benefiting you within society, they're going to try to mess that up. Anything that's benefiting you within society, anything, especially staying somewhere where you don't have to pay rent, like a shelter, like they're going to try to mess you up. Like the guy today, he was just saying that, like the person that give us food, he was just saying, yeah, the consequences of staying at the shelter. That's what he was saying. Like when I was walking in my room, like after I got my food, he was like, "Yep, the consequences of staying in the shelter. Yep, and that's all I'm staying at. I'm not getting an apartment or anything. Uh, savings want to help me. That's what it's going to do. It's going to help me do what I want to do." Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of it, for sure. Like a lot of misinformation. Like there's a lot of misinformation for real because it's like, but I don't think they're doing it on purpose. Some people are doing it on purpose, but it's like, the movie even misinforms you. The movie Truman Show even misinforms you. It gives you certain truth, but then it shows you another truth. It was all about surveillance for me. It showed the Truman Show shows you people at a bar. People was at a bar listening and watching, just watching Truman like a movie. They were all gathered together. They was at bars. They was at clubs. You know, it gives you that like it does that for a reason. They do that stuff for a reason. Like I said, they tell you citizen surveillance for a reason. They tell you it's citizen surveillance for a reason. They tell you that for the reason of psychological warfare, for you to talk to yourself. You're not going to talk to a three-letter agency, right? So they give you that, or three-letter agency meaning industry. Some of y'all give y'all talents up when y'all talk to yourself. Some of y'all sing out loud and rap y'all stuff out loud and give ideas and information out loud. They're all listening to that stuff. All of them. They're all the same people. ABC, CBS, NBC, what else? FBCI. You feel what I'm saying? They're all the same. They're all in there. They're definitely inside the industry. That's what I told y'all. Don't even look at that type of stuff. They're definitely in there. They even got a hip hop police. Some TIs be fear mongering heavy, but the thing is, I don't know if they fear mongering. I don't know if they fear mongering, or it's like I don't know if they're fear mongering or they just don't know yet. I don't know if they fear mongering, but I know it's some fake ones. I know it's some real fake ones out there. Like I said, I lie test any involvement. I lie test. Do I know any of y'all? Am I being on here to say anything? If somebody telling me to say this, lie test of $400 and up. So yeah, a channel to tune in to this one here. But yeah, yeah, I think a lot of people on here are fear mongering. But fear mongering in what way? I would think fear mongering. My thought of fear mongering was telling people that you know, oh, my neighbor listening in to me. Um, that's my thought. That was my thought of fear mongering because it causes shortness of breath. Like, hey, watch everything I do. I can't do nothing. I can't even pee in peace. I can't, you know, and it doesn't matter if three other agencies are watching you do any of that stuff. Like I said, those are eyes and ears of no importance. That's why they tell you those are eyes. Those are eyes and ears of no importance. And that's why they tell you that citizens, that's why they give you the thought that citizens are surveilling you by when you get out of the car and go inside a place, they're saying, they'll say something that you just said. And then the movie tells you that as well. That's why they give you that thought for you go home, start talking to yourself. You go outside. Like I started talking. I never used to talk to myself when I walk on the street. Ever. I never used to talk to myself. I never used to talk to myself when I walk on the street. I started doing that because of this. I started doing that because of this. True, they probably don't know. You definitely legit. I've been watching your stream for years now. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. For real. I'm extremely legit. Extremely. Like I said, I bring up that lie test every time I get on here. No one, I don't know any of y'all, no other content creators. I'm not getting on here to go at anybody. I try to stay away from certain words that trigger words, but y'all shouldn't even be worried about trigger words. You know, trigger word. I was worried about trigger words for. I used to worry about trigger words for other reasons. Like somebody will say something that's just you'll think somebody they'll say something about you. You'll think somebody. This is the trigger word I was worried about when I listened to content creators. I thought citizens was. I don't care about them no more. I don't care about trigger words no more because I thought citizens was listening. Right? Somebody will say a trigger word, something that's bad, like something that's like like colorful or something. You know what I'm saying? Something that's like somebody will say something, you know, and I think citizens looking at me, so I'm like, man, this man a perp. This person a perp. Like, you trying to make me look like this or that. And I always make a face toward it. Now I just be sitting there because I know who looking. Right? I just be sitting there now, like it don't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Like I'm not that, of course. So it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's right. That's why I used to worry about trigger words. Y'all shouldn't worry about trigger words either because nobody's watching us listen to truth. If you know what I'm saying, think about that too, right? That's another thing about surveillance. The thought of citizen surveillance, right? You sit there and watch targeted content that talks about 24/7 surveillance all day, right? You listen to stuff that talks about truth all day that no one else listens to. No other person in society wants to listen to truth or talk about. They definitely not aware of 24/7 surveillance. They're too comfortable in their conversations. So um, in conversations about anything, pin numbers, anything to that. So you have to understand that citizens aren't surveilling you. Citizens aren't surveilling you. The ones that, you know, to the perp in the background, hey, I'm surveilling you right now. That's a three-letter agency. That's a perp from a three-letter agency. What I say, categorize the people. Three-letter agency. You know what I'm saying? Informant, citizen informant. You know, for anyone that can listen to you in your house, which is not civilians, because you listen to truth. You listen to truth. Like you speak truth. You listen to truth. They don't want people knowing the 24/7 surveillance, bro. That stops crime. But if people, if these criminals, real criminals knew that they were watching their vein move. If these people watching your vein move down to your vein move, they watching the wrinkles of your face. They watching the wrinkles of your face. If real criminals knew that, they wouldn't be even, they wouldn't even be, they wouldn't be doing nothing. But that's another live stream. That's a good live stream, actually. That's a real good live stream. It's just a bunch of logistics. They really induce a mental health illness, but a lot of stuff is really going on. Like gang stalking is really going on. But I put it like this: they put an audience, they put a false audience out there. It's like a green screen, yeah, green screen audience, green screen audience, yeah, a green screen audience, a green screen audience, to where it's just the green screen shows important faces, classmates, friends. The green screen shows classmates, friends, family, associates. It shows them watching you in your privacy through your dashboard, phone cameras. It shows them doing that, and it also shows other types of other types of people. But behind that green screen is actually who? Who's behind that green screen? Who's behind that green screen? Three-letter agencies. Once they know, they switch tactics. Personally, they poisoned me recently, and I've dodged two accidents. Uh, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I try to stay away from that type of stuff, but they do that type of stuff. Like that's real scary because it's like I don't know. Even where I'm at, like I take my like when I have to go do a certain chore or something, like I take my stuff with me because you never know if someone here, like a person inside, because we have to leave our door unlocked. So it's like a person that stays in the shelter here could come in here and do something to my drinks or something, my water and my lemonade or something like that. But yeah, like I take my stuff with me, but you can't take it outside the house. That's the thing. You can't take it. Well, you can, but that's just designed to make you lose stuff. But I don't know. I don't know. It's like I never really got into that either, but I always like certain things I would take a picture of. Like I would take a picture of it before if I leave it somewhere, I'll take a picture of it. And if it looked different from the picture, I'll probably throw it out or something. Like if it's moved or something, or it look a little slightly different, I'll probably throw it out or something. Like I'll be like, let me get rid of this drink, But nah, like I think that's just like something mental too. But they would do that. But it's like we don't. It's like they act like we've been part of some type of organization that told us something, or like we have some type of secret information for sure. I just use logistics. I use logistics. That's what I use. I know damn. I know damn well. Um, Half the society can't watch. The majority of society is not watching you in your house or through your phone camera. I know damn well because it's like they have to do things too. They have to do things too, right? They'll be just like us. Conversations messed up because somebody listening to you and stuff like that. Like I used to be scared to talk to a girl. Like I go inside a restaurant and somebody will walk in behind me and I know they listening. I actually used to think that they was always just listening. Like they used to mess me up, but then I realized who it was, and it got me right. Like I realized, hey, that's three-letter agencies. Like they trying to make you seem weird or something. That's what they trying to do. So that's just what that is. I've seen a lot of staged fake cars being pulled over, trying to insinuate they want to pull me over and make sure everything documented while they violate my rights. Yeah, they do stuff like that too. Oh yeah, they did that to me. They did that to me before. Actually, I was going down the highway. And the state trooper had somebody pulled over already. He had somebody pulled over already, and I was going slow. I was going like a regular speed. I wasn't speeding. The ticket wasn't about speeding. So I wasn't speeding nothing. And he he got from behind the car that he was, and then he got behind me and said, "Move over, long." He said I didn't move over. He had his lights on, and he said I didn't move over. He said I didn't move over, and he gave me a move over law ticket. But he already had somebody pulled over. I didn't even know his car was behind my car. He already had somebody pulled over. That ticket was dismissed. Those tickets was dismissed because that was so stupid. Like it was so stupid. That was some dumb stuff. Like that was dumb. Like that was like how you do that. Like that's what I'm saying. They got them. They some cops be in on that stuff. Like some cops be in on that. Like a move over law. But yeah, they do that type of stuff. They do that. They do that type of stuff. Facts. They do act like that. Like we know some type of super secret information. It's hilarious to me. Yeah, it is. It is. And you know what that is to cause? It's to cause some type of paranoia, bro. It's to cause some type of paranoia. That's what it's to cause. It's to cause some type of paranoia. It's to cause you to start acting irrational. It's to cause you to start acting irrational. Like it's a lot of celebrities they done did that done left out of their organizations. Like they done did them bad because of that. They started to go crazy. He's one dude. He not Fetty Wap, but it's another dude. If he was an actor or some type of artist, he missing. It's like missing an eye or something like that. He started going crazy because of that stuff. One paid actor gaslighted me at a job and told me this program we're in like a game to them. Yeah, it's like a game to them. Yeah, but they're definitely being compensated. That compensated that compensation can go all the way down to them just seeing our downfall. You feel what I'm saying? But I believe they're being compensated. This is certain type of compensation, like gift card or some cash or something like that. It's some type of compensation. Some type of compensation. But it's honestly sad. But you should feel like this doesn't happen to people. This gang stalking, it doesn't happen to regular people. Like you should feel like that's why I'm like I be dressing like a bum now and everything like on purpose now. Like I'm never but I dress like that on purpose now. But you should feel like that's why I say where's your ego? Where's your ego? Where's your ego? Because you should feel like a damn king, like being targeted like this. It makes me smile. Like wow, like they're putting this much effort in everywhere I go. Like it's a shame. It's like they give you hints. They mess with your algorithm. Whoever the handler is to your phone. That's why I believe I could be wrong. Yeah, yeah. They definitely. That's another video. Thanks for getting on that topic. That's another video about hacking, like hacking the algorithm, hacking the YouTube algorithm, Instagram, or anything. Like they hack. They hack that. They hack that stuff. It is to play with your mind. It's to play with your mind. It's to cause anger. It's to cause forced speech. It's to cause all of that. Silencing tactics. Like it's to cause that type of stuff. Whistleblower. It's a whistleblower tactic. That's what it's. Those are whistleblower tactics. They try to silence you as if you have something to hide. I would think you would know. I would think you know if you had something to hide. So they try to like silence you. They try to like silence you. It's a whistleblowing tactic, silencing tactic, whatever you want to call it. Like it's crazy. It's insane. It's insane. But yeah, like it's insane. It's actually sick. Just know you're on the good side. This stuff isn't done to people. This type of stuff is not done to people. People jumping from spiritual to physical about this stuff, which I think the people that speak about spiritual, I think they're perks. Like I got on here. It's probably one of my videos where I'm speaking about some spiritual stuff. Um, but people that speak on spiritual stuff, like, oh yeah, it's spiritual gang stalking. Majority of them perps. Or it's spiritual, taken away from, trying to um, take away accountability from who's actually doing this stuff. These three-letter agencies, they work with these three-letter agencies. They work with the people that's on the TV. They work with them corporations. People can't even understand that. There's a hip hop police. Once I really got that in my mind, like I always heard about it, but there's a hip hop police. It's a thing. They're not giving people all of that type of money to, they're not giving these artists, these violent artists, this type of money to, you know, they're not giving them that type of money. They're not giving them that type of money to, you know, and they just, they want them to mess up so they can take that. They want them to, they like I said, somebody's already said that stuff, like on No Jumper. It's a podcast. Somebody's already spoke on. They benefit off of their artists being in jail. That's what they benefit off of. They quickly cut them off. Quickly, like they start talking about something else. Like they got back to the topic or whatever. Like it was crazy, but that's crazy. Like that is insane. He says some of these guys getting 20 and some getting more, possibly 50, 100. I would think so. I would think it works as if it's like a script, probably that much, but it's more than a delivery service app or something like that. They get more money for they get more money for that. But I think they're actors though. I think they're like actors. Like I think they're actors. It says it's police. Then they use people who are in close proximity to you to do their surveillance work. Neighbors, especially, like you said, is police. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But not in that way. Not in that way. Like they not the actual citizens not looking at you in your house. They probably watching you when you walk outside, but they not looking at you in your house or wherever you at. Because it's too. I'm gonna read that in just a second. Like it's too. It's just too like it's not psychologically coping because if they can look at you in your house, they would feel looked at in their house. You know, they would feel watched themselves. Plus, they would also have to spread that information of them being able to watch someone in their house. So they do use the citizens. They do use the citizens, but they aren't aware of that technology. They don't give them that technology for sure, for sure, for sure. Citizens got their own, like they got to do too much already. They got to put in their PIN number on their mobile bank app. It's it's just them three little agencies with that type of surveillance, but they use the citizens and they notification game. They notification game. And during V2K, a perp told me that he was just doing his job. So them acting like regular people, it for me takes the load off a little bit. For me personally, they still trash though. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly what that is. They just doing their job. They just, like I said, like you're basically saying they don't have a personal problem. Which there's reasons that they can have a personal problem. So they could have a personal problem. There's reasons they can have a personal problem, especially if you stay to yourself. You're not in the crowd. Crowds get shot at. You know what I'm saying? You stay out of parties, you stay away from people. Um, that can make you a person. They can make them have a personal problem with you. And most targets look like something, sound like something good. Radio, like I said, I hear radio. I hear radio hosts. I see artists. I see movie stars. But luckily, not to do any of that stuff. I can't be bribed to do that. But I've been experienced so many setups that the best mindset is to have an exert is to have to be an observant one. Not everything needs engagement. Most of the time, they just want to see them and dysregulate our nervous system. Yep, they want us to see them and dysregulate our nervous system. Yep, exactly what it is. That's why I said you gotta know who they are. That's why you gotta know who they are. Just a perfect example of that is walking in the aisle at a grocery store, right? You walking in the aisle in a grocery store. Who you think surveilling you do what you do? I used to think civilians, classmates, friends, exes, hacking inside of the Walmart or Kroger camera and watching my reactions, watching if I flinch. No one's doing that but three-letter agencies. That's what I used to think. That's why I got calm. The sirens are frequencies that alter our brain into fight, flight, just like the street theater. Yep, yep, yep. That's exactly what it is. Currently, I'm somewhere where I can't even hear that. Like I'm all the way like in the back of where I'm at. Like I can't even hear that right now. But yeah, sirens. That's the first thing I got, and that's what I get all the time. If I go outside, it's gonna happen. If I go outside, I'm gonna see a police somewhere every time. Every time. So it's just crazy. But yeah, the sirens is definitely one of the first things I got. Something that didn't stop. I used to get out of my car in 2021, like 2 days back and forth. As soon as I got out of my car, I heard sirens going in my house. I heard sirens going in my house. As soon as I got out the car, like they were doing that shit on purpose. Like I swear, some of them they're not even real ambulances. Like they really hiring fake ambulances to do that. Like to do. One time I seen an ambulance that didn't look like an ambulance. It looked like a neighborhood ambulance or something like an ambulance that was like a neighborhood funded ambulance, a citizen funded ambulance or something like that. That's what it looked like. Or like some you know three-letter agency pretending to be one. Yeah, if that don't work, they switch to directed conversations. Yep, for sure, for sure. Like they switch to directed conversations, bro. But that's something I always been getting. They used to mess me up until I realized, like, oh, yo, who is doing that? Oh, that's who doing that. You feel what I'm saying? That's who doing that. That's who doing that. Them three-letter agencies doing that. That's who doing that. So I was just like, wow, like, because especially if you trying to do certain things in life, the way you got to practice and use your voice. Say you trying to be an artist. Bro, I had people thinking, not people, but I, I was thinking myself, like I couldn't even. I bought a studio, I couldn't even do anything because I'm thinking myself, somebody listening to me, like somebody listening to me when I practice my stuff. So I stopped caring about that stuff. But there's no reason to. I'm saving my money as a target. I'm not telling y'all to do this, if, but I'm not paying for no studio. I'm not paying for no studio time. I'm targeting individuals, and it's a blessing. You decided to isolate yourself. You prefer self isolation. You preferred self isolation. You preferred self isolation. You decided to isolate yourself. That's a blessing. You know how difficult it is? to say, hey, I don't want to be. I've always been like this. I don't want to be at a. I don't want to be um uh at a party. Like I probably count on my hands how many times I've been at a party. Like I don't want to be at a party. That's not where I want to be at. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be around people. Like I don't want to do that. Like so that makes you a target. And I've heard somebody say that today. Like when they was reading an article. I'm gonna go through that too. Like I heard somebody say that today. Like what'll make you a target. They was reading from an article, but what'll make you a target is preferring self-isolation. It's the key to success. I say this in every video. Preferring self-isolation is a key to success. Preferring to stay away from people is the key to success. You know, because if you don't want to go to parties, that means you don't really want to buy clothing. I no longer buy clothing. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm not doing that. You know, like preferring self-isolation is a key to success. It is. Like it is. Like preferring self-isolation is a key to success. Because trouble is everywhere. Trouble is everywhere. That'll make you a target. Trouble is everywhere. That will make you a target. Like it's everywhere. Like I be seeing trouble where I'm at. Like this small amount of trouble, right? But people be smoking weed here. I smoke weed too, of course, but I don't smoke weed here. But they say they drug test you here, and you can get kicked out if you smoking weed, if you pop hot, and you smoking weed here. But they was influencing me to try to smoke some weed. A person was influencing me to try to smoke some weed, and I need to stay at a shelter. So why would I smoke weed if I can get kicked out? Like, so that's a small amount of trouble, but just that in itself, you could be in a car with somebody and just get in trouble. Like preferring self-isolation, that will make people not like you. That'll make you a police target. That will make you, because you're just on the road to success. You know, it's the key to success. This program has taught me how many people sell out all false narratives for $20 is crazy, but I can understand it. Yeah, like it's compensated. It's a compensation thing. They ain't really got no personal problems. If somebody tell them they gonna pay them to act like this or that, they gonna do that. Like they gonna do that. Say this, directed conversation, indirect conversation, they gonna do that. They're going to do that if that's what they're trying to do, they're gonna do that. So you gotta understand why it'll never stop. They're being compensated. They're being compensated. It'll never stop. It's a compensation thing. It'll never stop. But that go on with another live stream. I don't know if I'm gonna do that tomorrow or the next day, but that goes with another live stream that I planned on doing. They go with another live stream that I planned on doing. But yeah, I know the program is real. I'm not gonna give up any. I don't have any information to give up. This is not even crazy information to give up. This is not no top secret information. God is my witness. Lying is a mental illness. I went and I went and um, I would take a lot of tests about this conversation. Um, and this is no crazy thing. So I'm gonna tell you how targeting is real. Gang stalking is real, right? I went and I was don't leave off the live when I say this stuff, but I and went to for my disability check. Like it was about my disability. I got in a car crash. It's about my disability. So I went and I was doing the checkups to see if I'm disabled, what percentage I would be receiving. And the person that was doing that stuff, he was telling me, he said, yeah, a lot of people not gonna like you having this stuff. And I was like, wow. That next day that I went home, the first thing was, it wasn't sirens that first day. The first thing was a car speeding past my house. It was a car, it was a Chrysler 300 speeding past my house while I was sitting on the porch. And that was the same day that I got told out, hey, I'm good to receive my disability. That was that same day. Targeting is real. He said a lot of people weren't gonna like you having this stuff, not gonna like you having this stuff. And I was like, dang. That same day, and I was paranoid. I'm like, what's going on? What is this? Like, I was just seeing cars speed past my house. Specifically, I seen one Chrysler 300. At the time, we all start off thinking, this is some criminal stuff, this, or this, that. No, bro, those are organizations doing that. But yeah, this a good channel because I believe half the targets don't realize they're being targeted, and they're more vulnerable to a setup entrapment, not realizing it's the police using taxpayer dollars. Yep, that's why I stress, a do not think it's citizens. Because I know the scientific method. Do not think it's citizens that are involved in your in-home surveillance because you'll walk outside and punch somebody in their mouth. They're just notification game. They have no personal problem. It's a scientific. That's the scientific method. Hey, your neighbor's listening to you in your house. Hey, uh, um, your friends, classmates listening to you in your house. And it's none of them, but it is through letter agencies, and they have them targeting and tracking them for sure. But they are not letting them get that technology to be able to toss in somebody's house because they can do it to anybody. They can do it to the people that's telling them that. So they're not giving them they're not giving them technology to just toss in somebody's house and be able to look at them like a TV show. They're not giving that to them. What they are doing are targeting and tracking you and harassing you through notification game. You might have your one or two sometime when you see like people that just seem very much deeply involved, but it ain't finna be no people that you interested in. I guarantee you that it ain't gonna be no people that you interested in like a model. Nah, it's gonna be that dude with the hat in the background. He like a handler or something. Like, but you see him in public somewhere. It might be them few that actually probably got access to technology or something like that. And I even doubt that. But yeah, you just gotta apply logistics to every part of life, bro, because they trying to get you to crash out. They trying to get us to crash out. And once you apply logistics to every part of life, especially applying logistics to targeting, it's over with. They can't get you to crash out. They can't get you to crash out. They can't. You have to apply that to every part of life. You got to apply logistics to every part of life, but especially targeting. Like it was so fun. It was fun. It was fun thinking uh, I was being surveilled by um, uh, exes. And it was too fun. That's why it went on so long. Like that mindset went on so long because it was too fun. It just had me talking to myself in my car, anywhere I'm at, talking to myself, going crazy, creating anger for myself, thinking that citizens are bugging my car when it's really just a three-letter agency, right? Because that's the crash out method. You ain't thinking of them like that. You thinking of them like some type of. You thinking of them citizens. How you thinking of them citizens is some type of cool cult. They're the cool club you ain't a part of. No, 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 no. Even the Freemasons. I used to think they was like that's the cool club. Then just now, like just this year, I just now realized people been saying it this whole time, but I just now realized just this year, I just now not this year, but like well, this part I'm about to say you about the Freemasons. I just now realized that the Freemasons just this year. I just now realized people been saying it, but I just now realized, yo, they're Freemasons are 90%. How many Freemasons do you see on the street? Freemasonic tags, this or that. Bro, Freemasonic people, Freemasons, 75% of a Freemasonic lodge consists of law enforcement. Now, I've seen gangsters with this stuff. I've seen gangsters with the, with that logo or on their car or something like that. I've seen that stuff. So I'm like, whoa, hold on. I'm just not. I started laughing. Ain't no cool clubs I ain't a part of, and I'd never be a part of that. Ever, 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 ever. Like, bro, this is crazy. It's so funny. But yeah, like, they tried to recruit me before. Like, I walked inside of Metro PCS. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but I walked inside of Metro PCS, and the dude had a Freemasonic ring on. I said, "Yo, you a Freemason?" He was like, "Yeah, you wanna join?" And I also seen a rapper, um, in that same parking lot. It's parking lot of a mall that the Metro PCS. And I also seen a rapper that was just randomly sitting outside while I was walking outside. He was just randomly sitting outside. A known rapper in Georgia. He was just randomly sitting outside. As I walked out the mall from doing my food delivery, he just randomly sit outside. I'm like, he started laughing. He started. He was talking to somebody else, but he started laughing. Like it wasn't even crowded. He was talking to one person. Nobody was crowding him or nothing. He was talking to one person. I'm walking past my stuff. I'm walking past him. And he just laughing. I guess I don't know. I guess that was a script to start laughing. I walk out and make them think they laughing at me to make me think that the mental illness of the induced mental illness of making you think that other people hear the the subliminals on the news, make you think other people think that about you, make you think other people think that they believe that's you that they talking about, things like that. They do psychological stuff, bro. And there's it's a shorts on my some shorts on my YouTube. It's a short on my YouTube, and it shows me entering a facility. That facility had a question, had two questions on 16 and 19. It had two questions that said, do you believe that the TV is sending certain messages to you? Do you believe, like, I'll show y'all that. I guess I got to get on here and repost the video or something. It's already on there, but I'll show y'all that. Like, the facility was even doing that. Like, that's a mental health question. Because no one else because the thing is, no one else is going to believe that. They want you to think that when they hear that stuff, when they hear a radio host, when they see something on the news, they want you to think that other people think that about you when they're sending a certain message, right? That's what they want you to think, you know? But it's just to mess with our minds. No one wants to give us that type of credit. What? News not talking about you. They're not sending a subliminal message to you. What? You're not important. They don't want to give nobody that credit. So you got to understand, like, you know, ignore targeting, and that's just what it is. Ignore it. Ignore it. I'm still going on here and post my YouTube videos. Um, but yeah, it's completely oblivious to me. Like, it happens every day. Somebody got to walk in the store with me, try to make me feel uncomfortable, just for me to snap back into a reality, realize my realize my citizen rights, know I'm a civilian, and that's it. Know that civilians not hacking the camera to see my reactions, stuff like that, because that stuff used to have me stuck. I'm talking about like stuck. Like that stuff used to have me just like stuck. Like I'm thinking like I don't even want to make certain movements in the store, like nothing. Like, I don't even want to make certain movements in the store. Like I'm like, hold on, people hacking the camera, looking at me, seeing my reactions to this stuff. It's crazy. It's insane. But yeah, that's about it. Like, there's plenty more topics to talk about. I will be going live probably tomorrow. I love doing these long live streams. I love listening to them. Not mine, but I love listening to long live streams. I got plenty of topics to talk about. Multiple. Like, I got multiple topics to talk about. Like, it's just so much to talk about. It's so much poison to remove from the minds of targeted individuals that they have just induced. The most important one that just points the finger at all aspects of life, all people in society, is that they extract talent from you. They extract talent from you. Like you know how a lot of targets have said, somebody on TV said something that I said after. I said it in my privacy and it was creative. They said it after me. They're extracting that stuff. That's why I tell you not to talk to yourself, even though they're gonna get it anyway, wherever you put it at. But they're extracting that stuff. But they might say they might not be able to get in your phone or something like that, or something like that. But they're extracting that stuff. That's why I say don't talk to yourself. They're extracting talent. They're extracting a lot of stuff from you. Like they're extracting talent. They're extracting information. They're extracting ideas from you. And that points at every three-letter agency, from ABC, CBS, NBC to the FBI. I don't think I can say that on here. You might get a strike or something, but the FB and the CI, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know, like that stuff is crazy. But I'm finna get off here. It's about an hour, 30-minute live stream, and y'all join back in. Like join back in my live streams when I go live. I might be live tomorrow or the next day. Might take a little day break. But I got like a very good one, like a very good live stream. I put it in my post. Like I didn't spoil it yet, but the next live stream will be about why criminals don't get targeted, and it's gonna be a real good one. And I need them comments so I can keep going. Like it's an hour, 30-minute live. Some people come back and re-listen to it. Like I come back and re-listen to live. It's certain people live streams that I don't just re-listen to like 100 times. Like it just gets me through my day. It gets me through my day. Just hearing other people's problems and kind of debunking them. You know, debunking the problems. Like, why are you thinking that way? That's really impossible. Like they're making you think like that because of this. This is what it's going to cause when they make you think like that. You're going to be talking to yourself. You're going to be doing this. You're going to be doing that's what it's going to cause. So I guess that's the end of the live stream. Um, and yeah, it's the end of the live stream because it's an hour, 30 minutes. Nobody joined the live. Somebody should join the live sometime and it'll make it a little better. I ain't see nobody try to join, but my comments, the guys on the comments, y'all did a good job, bro, of just keep. Oh, you commented again. My bad. I didn't even see that. But y'all doing a good job and just you know, keeping the live stream going for anybody that want to listen to long live streams and hear this stuff. It gets people through their day. People, I used to have nothing to do, nothing. I just wanted to watch this. Oh, y'all been commenting this whole time. Been commenting this whole time. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Oh no. Oh, he said, why? I don't get why they hate when you get disability. I'm on disability as well. It's not even either. Oh yeah, that's for sure, bro. That's for sure. But if you get disability, I was told that this would happen. If you get disability, that's for sure. And I don't talk about this on here because people click off of this for some reason. But if you get disability, that's for sure. That's for sure, for sure. And another thing about disability, uh, disability checks. A disability check is self-preferring isolation. If you don't get a disability check, self-preferred isolation. Uh, also, um, I'm trying to tell you what's a disability check in society if you don't receive one. Self-preferring isolation, not going to parties, not wanting to have friends, things of that nature. That's a disability check right there. Because people don't like you can just come up like that. Because people don't know how to night. I don't know how people can even be targeted and want to have friends. No, like no, I'm not no. Like oh, that's more directed conversation that you gotta hear. Like you already gotta go to work and hear the stuff wherever it. But yeah, if you getting that, that's yeah, but that's for sure, for sure. We're on the watch list, specifically Pfizer 702. Yep, I meant to put that in the description too. I mean to put that in the description. But Pfizer 702 for sure. I talked about that before. I'm gonna go into the programs that they have. I went into it before, but some of them need more videos for it. Like I need more videos on the programs that they have. It's plenty. There's plenty of them. There's plenty of them. It seems like everyone's targeting is different. They study us and build a profile on us. Yep. I only met two during gang stalking, and they know not to recruit me. I made that perfectly clear. And yep, the one mate I met made sure to show me his ring. Yep, they show you that little Freemasonic ring, or they either have it on the chain or they car or something like that. And I wasn't even targeted at the time. I had just asked, like, "Yo, you in the Freemason?" But that's what they want us to do: crash out on a citizen when it's them orchestrating it. Yep, yep. You right on point, bro. You right on point. They need you in the mindset of thinking that it's citizens. They need you in that mindset. That's why I be getting on here like, hey, it's not them. Don't do that. I haven't heard targets talk about they fighting. They got in a fight. I got in a fight. Like, dang, bro, you fighting people you fighting people that want to fight you. Basically, that's how you should be looking at them. That's how you should be looking at them. Even though they don't have a personal problem, you should be looking at them like they want to fight you. You should be looking at them like they want to fight you. That's how you should be looking. It's an all black ring too. Yeah, yeah. Wherever I don't know. I think he had like a silver one or something. I guess it's gold or something. I don't know. I forgot how that looked, but he definitely had one. But I'm off of here now. Like I ain't even see these comments. But yeah, I'll probably be live tomorrow or the next day. Y'all join back in, and maybe y'all can come up on the live, and give y'all advice. But I'm gonna get off here and go listen to some more content and play the game. I love all y'all for real. And that's just what that is. You going through the persecution of Christ. This doesn't happen to people. This happens to no one. This happens to no one. This doesn't happen to people. But I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.